handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel. And it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not. I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
And we're back, people. Welcome to Top Table Talk, game week 6. Some of us are smiling, some of us are absolutely not. We're going to get into it all. Boys, how are we? How's things?
Oh, crap, I'm on the stage.
All good.
Sorry, I'm late. I just got back.
I can see that smile, Rich. That smile looks good, man.
I was just thinking of the title of this show, and then seeing Wolfie's face, and I was like, we're ready for the deflection. We are ready.
Bro, give me a chance, man. I just got back in. I'm having my dinner, right? Literally.
We'll let you have your dinner, mate. Don't worry.
I'm sure we will get it. But look, I think there's one place to start, one that's not really been talked about too much on pods that I've seen or panels that I've been on, and it's the game at Stamford Bridge. Andrew probably won't want to talk about this. Adam definitely will. So let's get into it. Look, before I come to you, Adam, Andrew, like from your perspective, you know, what's going on with regards to Chelsea and these red cards, because they seem to be your Achilles heel at the moment. What did you make of that game up until the red card? And then what did you make of it afterwards? Because I've got a question to ask you regarding the second part of that game. But just your opinions on it, mate.
Well, up until the red card, we're totally in control of that game. Brighton didn't have a shot on target at all. We got the red card and then we shut the bed. That's what happened. I don't blame him as much as the Man United game, where he totally shafted us and basically gave up the ghost. But his defensive subs make us worse defensively. I just find that ironic, that's all. In the past 2 games. I mean, I have a problem with how he utilises Gusto, in terms that he asks him to do too much, and Gusto's just a simple player. You don't overwhelm him with too much. Just ask him just to defend. That's it. Don't ask him to attack and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. Brighton deserved it after the red card. But the issue is he's got players on the bench he could try, but all we get is in our press is that he doesn't trust them, and that's it. That's a big problem for him, because if you don't trust the players, fine, but then you've got to win games to justify you not picking them. You know what I mean? You've got to justify them. And all this, like, when he's asked about individual players, he goes, well, they've got to learn this, they've got to learn that. How are they going to learn if you don't throw them in a game? Training's one thing, right? Training's just like, it's just training. It's not intensity, like on the field stuff and everything like that. But listen, he's made a rod for his own back at the moment, where he's getting more questioned than off the field stuff, which it should be. Because on the field, he's making a lot of mistakes at the moment, and it's costing us. You know, I mean, the red cards aren't his fault, obviously, but as a reaction to the red cards are the worrying thing. And it seems to be that he came out on Monday and said, "Oh yeah, I could have got things right," and it's like, yeah, obviously, but words are cheap. Do you know what I mean? You got to put it into action. Like, hopefully not a red card today, hopefully. But you know what I mean? It's like, what happens next time? Or, you know, why did you go so defeatist? You know, especially away to Manchester United, which was 0-0 at the time. Why did you go so defeatist? You didn't leave us much room. You know, and like it was, yeah. It's one of those things. It was very before that red card. I think that I think we were very calm even at 1-0 up. Brighton weren't doing much.
My question was going to be, and like everyone else, feel free to come in on this. Were you worried? Are you concerned about how bad you were once the red card hit? Because look, everyone's had, we've all had a time where we've had a red card and we've gone down to 10 men. But there's certain ways in which teams can manage that situation. Actually, some teams can perform better with it. I don't know about you. I thought you crumbled. I thought you really crumbled with 10 men, and it was just the pendulum swung way too much for me with the quality that you still had on the pitch. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right, because it was literally a week after Man United. So you go back and you go, crap. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and that was it. You know, I was going, okay, let's see. Okay, have you learned? Do you know what I mean? It's been a week. Have you learned? And I don't think he did at all. In terms of the subs, in terms of just, I don't know. I don't know what, in terms of everything went to crap. Literally tactics, everything past. It just went like that. No one knew what they were doing. And you need to look at the sideline, and that's the person who's in control who needs to tell you what you need to do. And I just didn't feel that at all after the red card. I just felt it was just when, not if they score. It was just like that. It was just, okay, what's going to, like, when as soon as he made the subs and we weren't doing anything, we were just literally, we would either pass the ball away or someone would make a run and then they dribble too far and then they'd lose it and then they'd be out of position and then Brighton would be on the attack. And then Brighton made, they took Belieber off and someone else off, so they went for it, rightfully so. But the problem was the sideline again, as it was previously at Manchester United, where he just lost it.
Yeah.
He just totally lost it. And you're like, and you're going, that can't happen again. That can't happen again. You know, you're making if worst goes to worst, you're always going to be the first one out the door at a club. Do you know what I mean? And you're just not making a case for yourself at the moment with your decisions. And that's the most frustrating part. It's one of the most frustrating parts of it, is that he should be utilising the squad better. All these injuries happen. We know they happen. Every club has got injuries, okay? Every club is getting injuries. It's all popping up. But you've actually got people on the bench you can use, and you're not using them. What
would you have done differently, though? Because what is he going to bring on Garnacho with 10 men and try and like?
The problem is, though,
I would have loved that.
I don't rate him, but the problem is, you build a better case for yourself if you use the players, even if you don't trust them, to say why they're not useful to you. Do you know what I mean? Instead, it's just question marks, because it's always going to be, well, you could have used those players. Why didn't you use those players? Like, for example, I don't think he's at all good or anything like that. But we bought Mark Guéhi back from Sunderland, and the previous game against Brentford, he comes out and says, "Oh, João Pedro told me before that he's not fully fit." Okay, so you're playing for 75 minutes, then you're playing for 90 minutes against Bayern Munich, then you're playing for 90 plus against Manchester United, and you don't bring the kid on to relieve it. It's your own fault. You're making the mistakes. It's your own fault, and it's costing us at this moment in time. There's no defense of you whatsoever. So he needs to get out of his own way, and that's the problem with a coach like him and others. They're just too stubborn.
Yeah, I'm puzzled on Maresca though. I'm really puzzled because we've got these managers who really get on my nerves, where they have this philosophy and they won't budge from the philosophy, like Amorim, like Russell Martin at Southampton, and the arrogance gets in the way. And you're saying Maresca's arrogance gets in the way, but I don't know I'm struggling to know what his philosophy is. Like, what is Chelsea's style of play? Is it possession based? Is it defensive? Is it like, what is it? And I'm disappointed with Chelsea, because I thought, you know, after what they did last season and then the signings that they made, they'd have a real go at it. But this kind of inconsistency, or this sort of soft centre, seems to keep coming back. But yeah, I'm struggling to know what they actually are as a side.
So here's the thing, right? And I can understand where he's coming from, but again, it goes back to him. Even if you're upset with the incomings and whatever, it's still your job to try and make chicken salad out of chicken shit. No matter what players you got, no matter what you got, and I just don't think he's doing a good enough job utilizing or trying to find out solutions. Seems to be going to the tried and trusted, and then when that doesn't work, there's no plan B after that. There's just
Maresca out.
I'm Maresca. I don't care. That's why I don't care, because if someone comes in, it's still the same. You just had, he came out, Wolfie. He came out Monday after we lost and said, "There's no pressure. There's no pressure." He literally came out in a press conference and said, "There's no pressure," and you're right. There's no pressure. There's no pressure.
But that's your fault.
That's our club's fault.
No, it's your fans' fault.
No, it's not my fault.
It is your fans' fault. Your fans are not asking for any titles or like this. Your fans basically want to be the Blue Arsenal, if we're being real about it. Let's be serious. It's a process thing. Oh yeah, we spent 2 billion, but they're kids. We got, they gotta get to puberty, then the teenage years, then finally they become men and what have you. It's just a Blue Arsenal, man. You can't. How have you spent 2 billion and still in phase 2 of a process, and then trying to claim you're champions of the world, but not in a title race and all of this? And I did warn you, Andrew, when I think we were last on here a couple of weeks ago before you played Bayern. I said you're going to get slapped by Bayern, and you were like, no, we don't concede 3 goals in a game.
But it's the point. It's the point. It's that I knew what they were going to do at the end of the transfer window. They were just settling for 4. So I just thought they're settling for a top 4 race at the end of the transfer window. So my enthusiasm, I can get up for individual games, but enthusiasm just like that, where it's a point of, it's just placating when you're just going along with it. You know what I mean? Until the inevitable happens. If he doesn't get good results in the next 2 games, I know it's harsh like that. I could see him going in the national break.
Doesn't that feed into what Wolfie's saying though? Is that, like, obviously if that was kind of your mindset after the window closed, that you were kind of just settling for top 4, isn't that what Wolfie's saying?
No, I'm not settling for it. It's what they showed. That's what they told me they're settling for. I told Wolfie, I've been on Wolfie streams, not Wolfie streams, but streams of Wolfie before the transfer window, and I said, I want this, I want that. But they didn't do it. They simply, and he's right, they've turned it into Arsenal under Wenger the last 4 or 5 years when they just settled for 4th. That's all it is. That's all, and maybe a cup. That's what it'll be.
Well, I don't understand. Where are you drawing that conclusion from? So they bought some youngsters, 350 million. You've already got a well-established team that most other clubs would kill for the starting 11 for. I don't really understand. I don't get the settle for.
Yeah, they claim they have the best midfield in Europe. So let's not forget that.
I mean, I just don't understand. There shouldn't be any excuses. But in your defence, the game on Saturday, you were right. The first half, if you didn't get the sending off, there's none of this. There's none of this conversation. It's a comfortable win, and you guys would have been fine. And it's suddenly like, oh yeah, we're back on track. Don't worry, Chelsea, we're fine. Instead, it's now crisis. I do agree with you a bit about what Maresca did in the second half, though, where he sort of fully shut up shop, and he just left João Pedro up top on his own. Which I know João Pedro, that's not his game.
Yeah,
and he's not a deep line target man, which is what you needed at that point. But again, you don't have Delap. What's Gooey? If your answer is Mark Gooey, I don't know what the question is.
Oh, that was that was the club's answer to it. So because he didn't want him in the first place, because he loaned him out. So he didn't want him. He didn't want him anyway, because he loaned him out. So why did you want to bring him back? Why do you want him after they bring him back? That's the problem.
It does.
But then if you have to be fair and go, well, then if you don't use him, then you better do something that makes you win the game or get to the point or something like that. And he didn't do that.
Andrew, I had a couple of questions for you, mate, and I didn't see the Chelsea game on the weekend because I was out and about, and because of where I'm from, they had the Liverpool game on, so I ended up watching the Liverpool game. But I'm just looking here at the substitutions. I did see the Man United game, and like you mentioned earlier, I was really shocked by how many changes that Maresca made. Obviously we saw Esteban come off. and I appreciate, you're going to have to, somebody's got to be sacrificed to bring a goalkeeper on because obviously got sent off. But again, I'm looking at the substitutions, and he brings off a central midfielder for the centre back. So again, a centre back went off the pitch, makes sense. But then he's bringing on a right back for. He's bringing on a right back for a winger. And then I think
he moved Reece James into the centre, didn't he? He moved him into like a back.
Yeah, he tried to double it up, and it's like that's fine. But Augusto on the other side, he doesn't have the talent to do the other side of it, like start an attack, or he runs with the ball, but he has no idea what he's going to do with it after he runs with it. He either loses it or he passes it. There was an option, I think, in the second half where he could have played Neto in, but he didn't. He just passed it backwards because he doesn't have it there. That's the thing. It's like, it's like I didn't know what the game plan was. You're asking Gusto to be literally our outlet. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like you say, he took Andre Santos off for
Pong.
Yeah, and Achimpong. All week. It's not really unfair for him, but all week when our fans and our media was like, Achimpong's got to start this game, and it's like he's not ready. He's not ready to be like. You must see Adam. He lost the ball a couple of times dribbling out from the back. I think one of them actually led to a goal, or one of them anyway. But it was like he's just not ready, and there's no one there to lead him because like Chalobah's off. We got Hato. There's another 19-year-old. There's no one in that back line to talk to lead them.
It's an embarrassing group of centre backs.
Oh, it's not. I think I think I can have an argument. It doesn't make our centre back selections don't make top 10.
Adam, why stop embarrassing centre back? It's an embarrassing club right now. Embarrassing club. It's an embarrassing fan base.
There's nothing more satisfying than see you try and buy half our team and coaching staff and directors, and then just wet the bed immediately. It's just tremendous.
They need to buy Danny Welbeck. That's who they need to buy.
They need to be
in January, innit?
And what's funny, Danny Welbeck's been not good this season. So
he always scores against us.
A bit unfit. He's not. It's not. And then he comes on, and Chelsea is the cure-all for that. But the thing though, Minte again, difference maker. Minte is
very good
guy this season. He really has been, and they moved him over onto the left-hand side in the second half when they took Matoma off, and he was able to do his magic there as well. But he's been Brighton's best player of the season so far. Minte.
Is he the one who
they should have had a penalty as well.
Should have had a penalty as well. 100%.
Gusto, I don't care about the stooping.
One of the worst refereeing performances I've seen in a while, which is saying something.
He booted him in the head, and I don't even know what the excuse was why they didn't give it.
Andrew, just to ask you as well, because this is something we've heard on previous shows with yourself and Charlie. Like, is it Maresca making these signings, or is he being players? Because it was. I mean, to me as a Newcastle fan, I'm sure Wolfie, Wolves, Rich's Villa, Adam as Brighton, and Peter's Newcastle as well, like me. Like, I know you needed a new goalkeeper. I know you needed another centre-back. And I know you probably needed another striker when Nicholas Jackson went out. But instead, you're signing players like Gittins and Garnacho. It's like, well, what are you doing?
Internal, the centre-back thing was our press. They briefed the press. Internal solutions was the actual phrase used. And our internal solutions are internally shit. So it's one of those. And by the way, hardly any coach buys the players now. It's more of a European model in the Premier League now. The coach hardly gets. There must only be a handful of coaches that have any say in any transfer.
Isn't yours more an American?
Surely he's got a say in the position, though. Surely.
He might say pro.
He said, "Get me a 15th left winger and right winger."
Yeah. I'm sure when he went, you know what? We need a couple of additional wingers. I really think the players coming to his mind were an untested Jamie Gittins and one of the worst players the last 3 seasons in the Premier League. That's where, that's really where it came.
The thing is, Andrew, both Kudus and Xavi Simons wanted Chelsea, and you end up with Kittens and Garnacho.
You know what, Wolfie?
Like,
do you know what,
how does that happen, man?
Do you know what people need to realize? You know, Xavi Simons was a smokescreen for Garnacho. That's what it was. It was a smokescreen for Garnacho.
That's even worse.
And what
That's
makes
even worse.
you know how he doesn't
And
fancy
it's not
either.
tonight.
You know how we know he doesn't fancy either Gittins or Garnacho. He brings on Tariq George, who we were going to sell to Fulham on the last day of the transfer window. He brings him on all the time, even to play up front or left wing. So you know he doesn't fancy them whatsoever. So it's a complete and utter crap window. That's what it was. A complete. You follow up. To go into the Champions League with that window is nothing short of. And I've seen crap windows over the last 15 years from this club, but that is up there with utter shite windows.
Imagine spending that much for this to be the reaction. Imagine spending 50 million.
Everyone praises. Oh, they sell so well. Yeah, look at the list of players you sold. We bought all those shit players under you in the first place. It's just because we got a good price for them. Everyone praises the selling.
How dare you got a great goalkeeper.
Don't get me.
Was he this bad for you, Adam? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's why we sold him. He was shit.
You know what's mad though? You know what's mad? We bought a goalkeeper who makes Sanchez look like Alisson. Jorgensen against Lincoln City makes Sanchez look competent. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you guys always do your whole look at us, we won the profit thing. When you look at some of the prices you lost at, like Kepa, how much did you buy Kepa for?
72 million. But that was under Roman as well.
And he's better than the two keepers you're rolling out.
We made a £62 million loss on that one.
That's the thing. It's like, you know what? We're gonna buy this player to flip him. If you want to flip something, go into the housing bits. You know what I mean? I'm not here to flip players.
You did do that with the hotel, didn't you? To be fair.
Andrew, that's exactly what's happening with Gittins. I said it to Charlie last night. They did not see him as a player that was going to make it in this first team. They've signed him to give him a little bit of time at a higher level club, and then they'll do exactly what you just said. They'll flip him. They'll make some money on him when they need it in the future. That's what it is. It's not about getting the money back that they bought for him. It's about flipping it. So when they need money, they can get money and they can get a significant fee for it. That's all it will be.
And I already know that going towards the January transfer window, there'll be reports of us linking us to defenders. I know it's going to happen. They're going to bring one of the people back on loan, because that's what they'll do. They'll flip, and it'll be just another young defender. It's like that's not the point. You're just throwing in another young defender in there for no reason, and that's just another problem.
So I was watching listening when I was coming back to Real against Karate Kid, whoever they're playing in Kazakhstan. And apparently they broke through early doors. Some 17-year-olds, I don't know if he's from Kazakhstan or whatever. And they actually turned around and said, this is a good baptism of fire for him before he moves to Chelsea next year. And I was like, what? What?
Yeah. That must have we got something. That's why it's like, when I see that, I go, that's you're an embarrassment. Like this guy, I can't even say his name.
It's just right. I'm gonna check it out. Hold on. I think let me.
Is he called Satpayev or something?
Satpava.
Yeah, that's it.
He's 17 from Kazakhstan. Has anyone ever heard of him? Just out of interest.
No one's heard.
When did you buy him?
From that Kazakhstan club.
Yeah, when?
I don't know. Probably when he was born.
I mean, what do you expect when you hire the whole Brighton scouting team? You're going to sign random players you've not heard of. It just so happens got to play for Chelsea. That's just your own doing,
boys.
Next year, man.
I'm just gonna hold. I'm just gonna move it on slightly because I know we haven't got Rich for too long.
Garnacho starts tonight, guys. So we're in luck.
Here we go.
Tariq George up front.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it was all Jackson's fault. The Chelsea fans said last year it was him who wasn't putting the ball away. Sorry.
We'll come over to Rich just for a second. another team that was smiling on Saturday. Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. It was Sunday. I'm getting my days confused. But you got your win against Fulham. Got to be honest, looked a little bit techie in the first half. Fulham looked good. I tell you what, Joshua King is a hell of a player. Really, really I watched him against Brentford the other week, and he looked a really good player, and he was destroying Aston Villa. But you managed to turn the tide, and you got your win. Happy, you finally got your win. I saw that smile when we first started and went live. We've not seen that for a while, Rich. So good to see you. No shades, but talk to us, mate. How are you feeling now?
It's definitely steps in the right direction. We obviously got the result against Bologna on Thursday, which was a bit of a hard work, more harder than it should have been with Ollie Watkins missing the penalty. And yeah, Fulham at home was probably quite a good game for us because we've got a good record against them. And the way it started, though, as you said, not great. Raul Jimenez goal from a set piece, and Josh King kind of tearing us apart. Lamar Bogard was a young player in midfield for us, and he was getting picked on, he was getting bullied, and then a couple of times he just couldn't handle King. But the turning point was Jimenez going off. That was the first major turning point from a Fulham perspective because they didn't have a striker on. If they'd have had Muniz on the bench, that might have been much better for them. And then Pau Torres had to come on for us instead of Tyrone Mings, and that made a huge difference for us in terms of quality on the ball and passes into midfield. So there was a few key moments in that game, like key substitutions and key moments. Buendia coming on at half-time for Harvey Elliott, and I've been Emi Buendia's biggest critic, but he changed the game for us at half-time. And John McGinn as well, just an absolute inspiration. And look, I've said so many times on this show, so many times on our show, you write players off like John McGinn at your peril, because when John McGinn plays well, Aston Villa play well, and he scored 2 in the last 2 games. Brilliant finish, brilliant goal, and I've been crying out for players just to get the head down, take the ball, take responsibility, and have a shot, and that's exactly what he did, and turned the game for us. And look, all of a sudden you're looking at 2 wins in obviously 2 different competitions. You now got Feyenoord on Thursday away, and you've got Burnley at home on Sunday, and everything's a bit better, everything's a bit rosier. There's still a lot to do at the moment. Morgan Rogers was marginally better, but still giving the ball away a lot. Evan Gesson was better, but still needs to get used to playing in the Premier League and this pace of play. But I think the one positive is the defence. Matty Cash, for all his criticism, has been very solid. And Ezri Konsa and now Pau Torres or Tyrone Mings have been pretty good at centre back. So we haven't conceded many goals at all, which is one positive. But yeah, steps in the right direction, but still a lot of work to do at the minute.
Boys, your opinions on Aston Villa? Did any of you, Andrew, Chris, watch the game? What did you make of Aston Villa?
No, I didn't watch it. Sorry, I didn't. I was too hungover. Sorry.
No, I thought Aston Villa were much improved. Like you say, Rich, your starters look more like yourselves. And John McGinn is a very, very underrated player, isn't he? I think when John McGinn is firing, I totally agree with you. When he's firing, it almost drives you forward a little bit, doesn't it? And to be honest, Rich, I was expecting this. Like, I know it's been a poor start from you, but you do have a squad capable on its day of performance. So I wasn't completely shocked, but it was a big 3 points as well. Funnily enough, I'm in a last man standing with my mate, and I got knocked out last week because of Chelsea. I won't hold it against you, Andrew. I got knocked out last week because of Chelsea in that Man U game, and I said to my mate this week, the banker is Aston Villa. The banker is Aston Villa because I fancy just to perform at home to Fulham, because what was it, 5 games without a win, and I was thinking it's coming, it will come, and it just felt like it clicked into place. Yeah,
it was an important win, and like you said, there were some there were some pleasing signs, and the fact that we came from a goal down as well is important. Ollie Watkins as well, getting a goal, good finish, and we've always said with Watkins is a purple patch player, and once he gets the goal, he tends to go on a run. It's when he has to think about his shots, when he has to think about doing stuff that he always struggles, and that was an instinctive finish, good run.
What did you make of Morgan Rogers? Obviously, a lot of speculation around him after what happened on Thursday with the kind of like the cheering. Lots of emphasis on him. Were you impressed with his performance?
He got better as the game went on, and it's clear that when Pau Torres is given the time and space to pick passes, it hugely benefits players like Morgan Rogers and Buendia or whoever's in those number 10 positions, because Torres will find them, whereas Mings won't. Mings will slow it down. He's got different qualities. Obviously, if you're up against it, if you're under the cosh, Mings is brilliant, right? Balls are coming in the box, but he's not gonna pick passes into midfield. So what happens is he's too slow at looking for those passes. The player will make the run, and he'll be too slow to find them, so they'll be put under pressure straight away. Whereas when we saw Pau Torres do it, he's firing it in and he's finding those passes. So the players are confident to make the runs into those spaces. So Rogers was finding the spaces, particularly in the second half. It's just the execution bit. He was passing it when he should have probably taken a shot or took the man on. He was shooting or trying to shoot when he should have passed it. It's just that last decision. But in terms of the purpose and what he was trying to do, you can see that coming through more. But like I say, it was more Buendia who changed it. It was more his kind of intensity and his willingness to move into the spaces quicker than, say, maybe Harvey Elliott was. He was on the ball, Elliott, but he wasn't as intense as maybe Buendia was when he came on. So, look, he's got some good options now. It's just about putting them together and getting a good run of results. Because after the international break, we've got some really difficult games. So we need Tielemans. We've got Liverpool. I know we've got Man City. I think we've got Tottenham, Man City, and then Liverpool. I think that's the order. So they're good games to have, don't you? You know, if you want to be in and around it, you've got to be winning those games or at least getting a good result. But that's where it's going to count. But yeah, good win. Good to see some really positive in terms of Watkins' goal, McGinn driving forward, getting a goal, Buendia getting a goal, and as I say, some positive signs at the back. And you know, it's amazing what a win does, or a couple of wins do. All of a sudden, it's looking rosier again, and that's what I think Villa fans wanted to see.
Wouldn't know, mate. I gotta say that I thought that start in the second half, you came out guns blazing, man, and just knocked them out in a couple of minutes. 2 quick goals, and I think that killed the game off. I think Fulham were decent in the first 15, 20 minutes there. You're right, when Jimenez came off, it changed it. But I never worried for Villa about it. I can see kind of maybe having an infrequent season, maybe not too consistent, a couple of patchy, you know, string together 3 or 4 wins in a row and a couple of losses. Maybe it goes like that. But I don't think you're going to be pushing top 4, if I'm honest with you. But I'll see you in the final.
Where do you see Villa? Where just from Wolfie's perspective, where do you see Villa ending up?
I think when I did my predictions, I think I may have said 5th or 6th, but I'll probably revise that now, and I'd think maybe a 7th or 8th place finish. And if we could back that up with a Europa League win, I'd certainly take that at 100%.
You should go after Europa League.
I think we've got to look to go after that tournament, you know, that competition. If Bologna are classed as one of the stronger teams in it, then we've got to fancy ourselves to be going after it. I think the Feyenoord game on Thursday, we got Feyenoord away. I think that'll tell you a lot about where we're at in terms of this competition. You know, I know it's not the be-all and end-all, but if we can get a good result against Feyenoord, who are flying in Eredivisie, then I think that'll tell you a lot about where Villa are as a squad in this competition.
I genuinely think, since they've changed the format of the Champions League, those teams not dropping into the Europa League has just made it so much easier or better for English teams.
It's open now because you used to, because no one really picked the favourite until you knew who was dropping in from the Champions League. And remember all that time Sevilla used to drop in from the Champions League, and then you started to get to the final and win it. Yeah, exactly. They just win it or something like that, or one of the Champions League teams would win it and stuff like that. It's just one of those. But I agree. If you should just go all out for the Europa League.
I think you're better off focusing on the league, Rich. I'm honest. You'd just be building your hopes up for nothing. So
I like that.
Forest Villa final.
You just want to keep the momentum going in the league. Cause I don't think I could handle a situation like Spurs had last season. That would be horrendous. Losing 20 odd games in the season, that would be absolutely horrendous. But I certainly don't think Unai Emery is that type of manager to let that happen. But yeah,
you say that. Remember in the Conference League a couple of years ago when you got close to the semi-final, your league.
Yeah, but we got to the semis, didn't we? We got to the semis and
who knocked you out, Rich?
Olympiacos, yes.
Oh, my little sister club for her.
Yeah. And sister club.
Little sister club.
But yeah, hopefully, boys, I'm happy next week on the show. So I will have to love you and leave you, but I'll catch you soon.
Catch you soon, fella.
All right, cheers, boys.
Rich.
Thank you. Bye.
Always great job, Richard. Great stuff. As ever, and he's happy finally that he got that win. But I'm
glad we could finish on a happy note. I'll see you guys next week.
A couple of teams that aren't happy after their results at the weekend. Wolfie, man, you had one job. And it's to beat those mutants down the road. That's all you had to do on your home patch. And you couldn't do it.
Bro, they didn't play football. What do you want me to do?
Why did you fail a simple task?
They bought the ref. What else can I tell you? That stupid free kick. And I don't know, man. It was I was struggling to stay awake in that game. I can't lie to you. It was
Wood missed the sitter, man. Chris Wood missed the sitter.
Chris Wood's miss was I reckon Chris puts it in, man. I reckon Chris scores not Chris Wood, man.
I haven't seen it, mate, but I bet I would.
I've seen you put away a few harder chances than that. You know what I mean? So I'd have trusted you up front there. But I don't know. That result was frustrating. It was all right, you've had your time and you've had the real good performances against Betis. We should have smashed them 5-0. Swansea was a freak result, 2-0 up and what have you. Arsenal doesn't count. Burnley, Zinchenko's an idiot, putting in his own net. But yeah, that one at Sunderland, that's his first kind of black mark against his name for me. He should have won that. He overchanged the team. And it almost felt, I was looking at some of the players that were benched. I was like, you were already lining up the Europa League, mate. It's not what we're seeing there, but it's it's a bit early. It's a bit early for me, mate. But yeah. Losing his mind on his pod. Literally ended the stream, said I'll be back with player review. That's how I always finish my watch along, bro. I don't know if you've seen it before, but
Wolfie, I want you to be honest with me here, because I watched 12 Man yesterday. I always love watching 12 Man. And you did get quite a cooking. But I want you, honestly, tell me, because we're all friends here, Wolfie. How are you honestly feeling about Ange? Or are you literally what you say? You're just sitting back and you're waiting to see what's happening. But what are your honest feelings at this very moment over Ange?
I think for me, how can I describe it? It's I don't like the fact that everyone judged him day one based on what he did at that stinky club in North London. And do you know what I mean? It's I've seen so many managers fail at Spurs in my lifetime. I've seen so many tears from my brother from that club. So it's a poison chalice, that club. for someone to go in there and get them a trophy, and for them to treat him how they treated him, quite frankly, embarrassing. But that whole club is embarrassing from top to bottom, including their fan base. So when he came in, I've seen what he's done at Spurs. But do you know what I mean? It's like I'm not thinking, oh look, we've got the next Jose Mourinho coming through our doors, or the next Pep, or what have you. I get it, because Nuno had to go. Would I have hired Ange? No, I think I would have gone for Marco Silva. He's frustrated at Fulham. He's that right kind of step forward in terms of going from counter-attack, going from a more defensive team into a more counter-attacking team with better possession and what have you. That's the way I would have gone. But it's gone this way. I'm not judging him on his first 10 days. Like, that's way too harsh, man. You've heard what Andrew said about Maresca, and he's been there coming on to, how long's he been there now? A year and a half, something like that?
Yeah, coming up to 18 months. Yeah.
And he's still, they're still, oh, well, we've had the transfer window, this, that, and the other. So for everyone to be judging him after 10 days, I think is crazy. But I will be the first to judge him on what he's done at Forest. Like, I will trust my guy. I will know within a couple more games. He's had, like I said, the Arsenal one free hit, a couple of freak results. Sunderland, that's the first black mark for me. Like, first proper black mark where you had no excuses for that.
I think, Wolfie, I watched your watch along, and I think you were getting really frustrated with the amount of crosses that were just aimlessly going.
They were aimless. They were just aimless.
It was like it's all those old school when you've just like got no plan, and you just aimlessly just cross it into the box.
Exactly that.
Like pure Barclays Premier League style. Like you just put it in there.
And the crosses were crap, Andrew. Apart from Hutchins, the crosses were so poor.
Yeah, that's
what was happening was the ball was getting moved to the right, and then Sunderland were in this nice compact shape in the middle. So they were giving up the flanks. Then Forest would recycle it back to the defense and then round to the left. And it would come to, I can't remember if it was on the left in Doy or Hudson or Doy, whoever it was. And they'd be like, I recycle it back. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to chuck one in there. And there'd be like one body in there and about 6'5" giants from Sunderland get headed back. It would come to Milenkovic. He'd then distribute it out to the wing and then they're crossing it in again. I'm like, freaking hell. Pull them out a little bit. Try something different. Create some spaces. And off the back of seeing what we did at Betis, which was our previous game, which was like high octane, exciting football to watch. I was like, how have you gone from playing that good to this crap and pedestrian? It felt like there's this, I don't know why I remember this game. There was this game between Manchester United and Fulham. I was watching it with my mate. I think we were in Nottingham at the time, under David Moyes, where I think Man U broke the record for the amount of crosses put into a box because Moyes was so clueless that they just kept getting the ball cross. And that's what it felt like. Yeah, was it yesterday or the day before, whatever it was? So it was just like too much. Yeah. And now I'm looking at it thinking, okay, I've already from that game taken in my mind that I think Ange will struggle against low blocks because he doesn't know how to pull them out to create the spaces and what have you. So I'm looking ahead and we're playing you lot, isn't it, back to back. So we've got Newcastle, then Chelsea, then we're taking a loss to Bournemouth, then we got United. I think that probably this run of game suits Ange better than a Burnley and a Sunderland and what have you. Now, do I think he wins these games? Honestly, I got no clue. No clue. I'm not too bad at usually predicting some things, right? I mean, I predicted Liverpool to win the league last season and what have you. And Forest to finish 8th, I said at the start of the season. But with Ange, I just got no idea. I just got no idea. We could win tomorrow. No, not. What day is it today, boys?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All right. We could win on Thursday 5-0, or we could lose 2-0. I don't know which way it's going to go. Like, I'm talking against in the Europa League. That's where I'm at now. Michelin.
Oh, it's the Danish team, right?
Yeah. But they do have. Yeah, we're at home.
Right.
But they do have Philip Billing from Bournemouth. And
oh no!
Yeah, he went there.
Bro, there's just too many of these little freaking double agents, like undercover agents from Bournemouth, all over the place. What's his face? Who's the one who's at Burnley? Anthony.
Yeah.
Josh, what's his name?
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a decent player in that Jaden
He was on scoring threats against Bournemouth, and now they gave him to Burnley to get a goal against us. This is so annoying, man. So Phil Billings definitely scoring on Thursday. So I just wish Bournemouth stopped existing. I really did. No one cares about them. But yeah, so that's where I am a bit.
We won't talk too much about the game on Sunday because we'll try and discuss that a bit more in the match preview. But I look at Forest at this moment in time, and there just seems like the spark's missing, like the sparkle's gone in the team. Like you had a way of playing under Nuno, you knew what you were getting from Forest, and even though you knew what you were getting, you couldn't stop it. But it just seems now where your strengths were last season. You were kind of very set in your defense. You were like staunch. You were difficult to beat. You get a lot of like clean sheets, or you'd only concede the odd goal here or there, and you were lightning on the counter attack. I just don't see. And to be fair, this is not just with Ange. This is with Nuno before he lost his job.
That's the point. Yeah.
I just don't. I didn't see that coming into this season. I didn't see that style still there. It seemed like I'm not sure whether he tried to change it, whether it was forced to be changed because of one or two players moving on. I don't know, but because you haven't got a style of play, I think teams are finding it easier to play against you. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm looking forward to us playing against you on Sunday for that, because you don't have a set style of play. You don't know. Like, for me, I'm looking at you guys. I'm thinking that we can attack you, and I'm not as worried about your defense as I once was. Would you think that's fair, Wolfie, in what I'm saying?
In parts, yes. What I would say is the defensive four that we had from last season's only at 50%. Murillo's been out, Aina's out till January, and then he's at AFCON anyway. And then you got Milenkovic and Nico Williams. So Nico Williams switched to the right-hand side. We're only playing with three defenders because Zinchenko is got to be one of the worst defensive players I have ever seen in my life. It's just play him as a midfielder. Like, why has he got to do this whole... Like, there's good left-backs that can invert. He's not a left-back. He's just a midfielder. Defensively, honestly, I think I can defend better than him. So that's the thing. For me, I'd just play... If you played and started him in midfield, I think he'd be a decent player. So we're playing, technically, with Nico Williams out of position, even though I think he's been our best player this season, and Milenkovic. Murillo should be back tomorrow, Thursday, but we've heard should be back for the last 2 weeks on Murillo, so we don't really know what the story is with him. So from a defensive perspective, these words are hard to say, I think I hear what you're saying, but it's not because he's just said, right, all of you go bomb forward. Forest haven't been playing as high-line for life as some of the Spurs fans or have you to believe. We have, however, seen Milenkovic play right wing at some points and Morato going up as a cam, but there has been kind of rotation in behind them. What I would say is your easiest way to beat us is just attack us down the right-hand side. So if you're going to play Elanga and utilize him in any game, this is your game. Because if Zinchenko plays at left back, I'd put two right wingers on. That's what I would do. I would come up with a new formation and just put two right wingers on and sacrifice a left winger and just do that. Double it from that side because you will have the freedom of that side of the pitch. Don't get me started on that.
What do you think, Chris? Elanga to start on Sunday? I personally think he will.
I put Murphy and Elanga. On the... I'm not even joking, boys. I'm not even joking.
On the right hand side, put them together.
Yeah, 100%.
Even better. No, I agree. I agree with you, Pete. Yeah. Not that we want to give any spoilers away, but yeah, I like you. I will be thinking Anthony Elanga, right wing, and who knows? This could be the game he comes of age. This could be the game that he really pops.
Has he been crap?
He's not been crap. He unfortunately, Wolfie, and you'll get this. To me, and Pete, I'm sure you'll agree with this. He's not looked like a £52 million winger. That's the thing for me. I've not been wowed by him, and I've not seen. I mean, look at the figures he pulled up for you last season. he doesn't look anywhere near close to being able to do that. Now, you could say it's not all down to Anthony Elanga. You know, we don't have a settled team at the moment. I think that's fair to say. Obviously, we've lost one of the best strikers in Europe. So, you know, Jacob Murphy, you know, getting all the stats that he got last season, that will help because obviously he's had Alexander Isak on the end of it. Chris Wood was in fine form for Forest last season, wasn't he? So that will have helped Anthony Elanga's stats no end too. But yeah, he just hasn't. He's not hit the ground run, is what I'd say. I'm not writing him off or anything like that. But do you know the biggest thing for me?
Can't write him off.
While I've got you on, Wolfie, I want to ask you this. This is the only thing I don't think I've said this to Pete or Daz. You know, the only thing that worries me a touch is that, you know, when he gets the ball, like, I'm expecting a better touch. I'm expecting him to be more.
He's got a heavy touch. Yeah.
Oh, like you know the way sometimes a ball gets fizzed in and the player just traps it and you go, oh bloody hell, you know, professional footballer, you know, Premier League player. He doesn't. But then obviously he turns the jets on and he goes, and you can see he's an athlete. He's quick. He's going to cause problems, but he's not. So far, I've not seen that moment of, you know, that trickery or that fantastic touch or that whipped ball in where I've gone, ooh, okay. I've just not seen that yet.
The one thing I'll say, Chris, not necessarily in his defence, because I don't think there's no reason to defend him. It has been a very much a stop-start season for Elanga. So because we've been emphasising our rotation in the team, and Eddie's really focused on that, a lot of players, and I think the wingers have really suffered from that. They've been in and out. So like Elanga, for example, played against Bradford, and you could see up until like he was just kicking into gear in that game. You could see it, like the cogs were turning, and that was I think one of the longest games he'd had in a while where he was playing, and then all of a sudden, kind of like he's on the bench again on Sunday against Arsenal, and he hasn't had a run of games. And I think when you start a new team and we are playing a different way. We are playing a completely different way to what he was used to under Nuno at Forest. And so when you're in that position, you kind of need continuity. And I just think, I hope he starts tomorrow against USG. And I hope he starts on Sunday. And it just gives him that continuity where he plays 2 games back to back. And I would love him to play 90 minutes. I think he can. And I would love him to get good minutes. And I think, maybe after those 2 games, if he was to play those 2 games, I think we'd probably be able to sit here, Chris, and have a better conversation about Anthony Elanga.
I don't think he will. I think a lot of what Chris says is right. Elanga, I mean, what you've said is kind of what I told you guys to expect of him, right? He needs to play in a counter-attacking team. He's not the type who can break down a defensive low block, or in the style that Newcastle play where you're kind of playing higher up the pitch. It doesn't really suit him. The other 2 things with him is he's got no football IQ, as far as I'm concerned. He overcuts inside, which I found frustrating, yet most of his assists would come from getting to the byline, utilizing his strengths, and then squaring it across like Chris Wood, as he was doing last year. He also thinks his left foot is better than it is. I don't know if I told you, I'm sure I must have. He started taking corners with his left foot last season just to try it. It's almost like he was trying. It's like, use your stronger foot, man. However, his finishing on his left foot did improve a lot. He's just a streaky player. That's the word I'm looking for. When he gets hot, he's red hot. Absolutely red hot. He did that at Forest last season, and that's the period that most Forest fans remember from Villa for about 6 games or so. Before that, he was utter crap. The end of last season, he was utter crap. But that purple patch period, and he scored that goal against Man U that everyone going back. He has that in him, but that's a highlight moment rather than normal moment. Where his strengths are is he's hardworking. He gets back. His physique is exceptional. Obviously, you all know about his pace, and his shooting on both feet is okay. It's just that footballing brain where he lacks a little. I think I said to you, Pete, I think he would suit you when you're playing like Barca, when you're playing teams that are gonna.
He was great against Arsenal.
There you go.
Yeah, he was.
Because there's space for him to work. For him to work. Whereas when you're in charge, it's the opposite. I would use him more in the Champions League, honestly, than the Premier League.
I know that's exactly what I was just about to say. I can see him being. That's why I think he'll start tomorrow, because I think looking at USG, and we're not doing a match preview, but USG like to play against teams that have possession. I think
you can get someone on from USG Fans TV. That's appalling.
Yeah.
That's appalling.
But they I think they're
and you just have a clean shave and you can claim it.
I think they're beaten in 10, but I think that they're having 32% possession throughout all of their games. They don't have a lot of possession, and I think if we give them possession, I think someone like Elanga can absolutely destroy them on the counter, and that's key. And I think, actually, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say.
You know what he sounds like? He sounds like I know he's not that good, but he's a trier. That's what he sounds like. Do you know what I mean? He sounds like
Elanga.
Yeah, he'll always get.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of because you know what, off the pitch he's and not just that. As a human, he's one of the nicest human beings going. He's very religious. He's very respectful. So you do automatically find yourself loving him as a person, right? But on the pitch, he's very frustrating. Where I got really annoyed, not with him, but with management. Cooper did it and Nuno did it. They tried to play him as a 10. They tried to play him as a striker. So there was times where he was playing up front. And that's not where he should be utilized at all. Yeah, wing every time on the right. And then he thinks his strongest position is left wing. I don't think it is. I think it's right wing.
But I thought he's best for you on the right. I always thought him best for you on the right.
100% agree.
We ain't getting in our left wing, so that conversation definitely didn't happen when he was talking.
He could. No, he's not going to do it if you double up on the right wing, like Wolfie's saying. And he doesn't know.
Well, I said that, Andrea, and I shit you guys not. There was games where him and Callum Hudson-Odoi doubled up on the left-hand side. It infuriated the crap out of me. And when the ball was crossed in, shot horror, there was no one at the back post. And when Nuno was asked about it after the match, he's like, was that a tactical? He goes, no, I just let them decide. And it's like, stop him off if he's going to go to the other side, man. Seriously, it was so infuriating. So look, but you will find a patch. And I would use him against Forest, by the way. He'll have the freedom of that right-hand side. So that's the perfect game for him if Zinchenko's playing. But outside of that, go on.
This comment from American Geordie, and it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on this because obviously we know that Nuno was after this, but do you think that when Visser is in the Newcastle United team, we could possibly see a better version of Elanga in terms of, do you think he'll link up well with Elanga?
I think the what's his face, the porn star guy is better for him. He
say his name properly. Don't do that.
Voldemort. And I'll tell you what, it depends. Why Wood worked well with Elanga was Wood would drop into the 10 almost, and then feed the ball out or flick the ball on to the winger, and then chug his way back into the box while they were doing their thing on the wing. So Elanga works better with someone who kind of likes to play a quick 1-2 off him, or a slow 1-2 if you like, off him. So would Visser work? I don't know if I'd play Visser in the 9. I kind of like Visser on the wing as well. Visser's versatile. He's good wherever you play him. But it's a good problem to have. I still think Visser's better than Voldemort, whatever his name is. But I don't know. My worry with your news, Voldemort, whatever his name is that you're just gonna turn into a fucking FIFA 17 wing whore team, but you're just constantly crossing the ball, and you lot are better than that. That's my worry of it. He scored 2 headers, and now you're just gonna see freaking crosses like I saw on Saturday. So
I'm not being funny, but at this moment in time, I'll take it because we have 0 attacking intent right now. We do not create opportunities. Our attacking quality is very limited. So if we're going to create chances by whipping balls into the box to Voltemade, I'm taking it. Voltemade's had 2 clear chances since he signed for Newcastle United. One of them was against Wolves and he scored. The second one was against Arsenal and he scored. We have not provided him with any ammunition whatsoever. So you saying that, Wolfie, I would actually take that because it means that actually.
But I think you're better than that. Is my point.
We are, and we need to transition. For me, I need to see Anthony Elanga play with Nick Voltemade because I actually think those two will link up really well. I actually think there'll be a good link-up partnership. But again, we've barely seen it. We've barely seen them play together, and this is what I mean. They need to run a games in the team because we need someone that can whip a ball in and not just put a ball into the air. Because Murphy's good at just knocking those balls high up into the air for a big, tall striker to get on the end of it. That's his bread and butter. But that's not Elanga's bread and butter. He can put high balls into the air for Wood, but he can whip them low into the box as well. We've seen him do it for Newcastle already. He could have had 4 assists. And this is the thing, like a lot of people are forgetting, like some of the chances that Elanga's created whilst on the pitch. We've had Anthony Gordon on the end of them. He's been miskicking them. He's been like missing them. It's just, and these are chances that any striker would put away, and they've not. And I think, like for example, against Barcelona, he put 2 on a plate, 1 for Gordon. I think both for Gordon. I think Gordon miskicked one of them, and then one of them just kind of let go behind him, and then Barnes didn't shoot. Like these are chances that we could be looking at Elanga in a completely different light here, with 3 or 4 assists to his name, and going, he's had a great start. So it is fine margins. It's fine margins, but for me, we need to be attacking. We need to be getting balls into the box. We need to be creating chances for Nick Voltemade. But I do agree with what you're saying with regards to Elanga to a point. We need him to score goals. We need him to chip in, like Gordon, like Murphy as well.
What's the news on Livramento? Has anything come out yet?
That full looks one of those.
Yeah, he wasn't moving. Yeah, he wasn't moving.
Nothing's been confirmed yet. It doesn't seem like it's an ACL from what journalists are saying, which is great news. But I think they've taken him for a second option, like a second opinion. So they're taking him somewhere else. So it's been reported that we'll know more in the next 24 hours. From where he was holding his leg, in the movements, they think that it could be potentially at worst an MCL, which an MCL you're looking at anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks. Potentially, if that's the case, which is still a huge blow to us, but it's not a 6 to 8 months or 8 months.
It's just that he covers both sides, though, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's like that's the issue. And it's like, where's the guy we sold you, the left back? Is he aged? Yeah,
he'll start tomorrow. They rested him on Sunday.
Does that mean Burn will start on the left against Forest?
No, I'll bloody hope.
Sure.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to see that again.
The cells in the middle. Our old boy. He'll be up.
He's not going to be
Langer.
No, it won't be Lascelles. Do you know what the problem is, Wolfie? So obviously, Dan Bain and Fabian Schär have been like fantastic for us for the last couple of seasons, and then Malik Chow's coming at right centre back, and Sven Botman has returned from his injury, and he looks absolutely fantastic. And Eddie Howe clearly has a problem because Dan Bain, in fairness, and I remember reading this yesterday. Yeah, he's been one of the best centre backs in the league in recent times. Dan Bain's been solid for us, but the future is Sven Botman and Malik Chow, and the difficulty is he's like. Am I right in saying this, Pete? It almost feels like Eddie Howe was trying to shoot Dan Bain into the team, and it's like
that's exactly what I'm saying. It was pissing me off. Like that, it just. Eddie Howe, like, for as much as we love him, he needs to make a decision, and he just I get it. He's got his guy. Burns his guy. He's an experienced lad. He was obviously a Geordie. The fans love him. He's Mr. Dependable because he'll always give it 100% and always give you a 7 out of 10 minimum.
Yeah,
but Sven Botman will give you 9s and 10s out of 10 because he's an elite centre back and he's proved it since he's come back into the team. That for as good as Dan Burn's been, Sven Botman's performances recently have been better than what Dan Burn has produced. And so therefore, Sven Botman has to play. So this is the big thing tomorrow. This is what I'm looking for in the team news. I think Sven Botman should be playing with Malik Chow at centre back. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but it should be happening. And I expect to see Lewis Hall starting at left back. I expect it. My lineup should be Trippier right back, Chow and Botman, and then Lewis Hall. Yeah. If I see Burn at left back, I'm not happy. I'm instantly not happy, and I won't be the only one. I know Chris will be exactly the same, and there'll be a lot of Newcastle United fans that will be very, very frustrated with that because he just needs to bite the bullet and make these big decisions and go, you know what? I'm going with Botman. He's playing the better football. He's the better defender. I need my best players playing.
Botman's passing out from the back is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, how many times, Pete, did we see against Arsenal where Sven Botman had picked the ball up and he play a ball through to the centre of the midfield and cut out like 2 or 3 players? Dan Burns been absolutely brilliant, no doubt about it. But Dan Burn can't do that. He cannot do that. And Sven Botman will play like 40-yard crossfield balls and he'll put us on the attack really quick. And when you've got players like Anthony Elanga and Anthony Gordon, that's what you need. That's what you need. Sven Botman's the future.
Arsenal targeted us on Sunday, and they targeted us because Dan Burn was there at left back. And so they almost cut off the supply line to Trippier and Chow and just made Botman pass Burn the ball. And whenever Burn got the ball, they had 2 players pressing the hell out of him. And all he'd do is either put it into a pressure position in the middle of the park because he just wanted rid of the ball, or he'd just pump it long and Arsenal would pick up the ball again. And it just worked every time. And that happened early on in the game. And that's why Arsenal really stepped into the game with confidence, whereas we expected us to be really hitting them hard. And we never did that because they had a clear tactic for it. It didn't work. For me, Burn is done really well, but Botman has to play. Botman's fit. He has to play because...
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Sophie's showing her teeth. How? Ouch.
Wow. How you thought about
that? Yeah.
So
I didn't know you had it in you. Eddie, how ouch, she says. I'm not gonna read the rest of it.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Not even left back tomorrow. Left back again.
Oh,
so
again.
Multiple games this season. If he starts again, she's how out. So if you go on a 10-game unbeaten run, and then the next game, the 11th game, he starts. You have to hold him. You have to hold it to a word now. If you go on a 10-game, you win the next 10 games in a row, and then he starts the 11th game at left back, and you have to how out.
Oh, imagine this scenario, Andrew. Right, final game of the season. Newcastle can win the league. They're playing. I don't even know. You got to say Man City. Whoever wins gets the league. He starts Dan Burns left back. He scores the winning header in the 90th minute.
Ouch.
The whole of Newcastle is celebrating, and you got Sophie there going, Eddie out, Eddie out, Eddie out.
Sophie, you got 10 seconds to change your mind and put it in the chat and let us know.
Wolfie, the victory parade. And then they just zoom in on one. They just zoom in on Sophie.
Oh, Sophie, what you done, man? But look, we'll finish off now because the games will be kicking off very shortly.
Fantastic! I took the conversation to Newcastle beautifully. I like it.
Yeah,
I know you've done pretty well there. I was thinking that.
Thank you.
No, you don't go.
Practice.
You answer me questions. I like that one.
It was the only way we were going to get Newcastle in if we made that transition in. So
we're just lucky there's no Man United fan on this frigging week. We'll be here till half time.
Where is Danny Boy, man? I haven't heard. Is he still in Butlins or whatever?
Yeah, probably, but he's gone AWOL. He's just completely gone off. I don't think he was. I don't think he was in the right frame of mind to have a conversation with you, Wolfie, about Man United. I think it would have made him feel a hell of a lot worse and probably ruined the rest of his week. But look, Andrew, your game is about to kick off at 8:00.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho reunion loving special at the Bridge. Yep, there we go.
He started well at Benfica as well, doing all right.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Score prediction?
1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Well, sorry. That was before the lineup. 0-0.
Can we get a prediction on 11 men finishing the game or not?
Well, yeah. What this is even worse because we're in Europe and against Benfica.
And against
So
you know what
I
I'm
don't know.
It'll be a bit
I
of
don't
fight
know.
in the
I
game.
want to see
won't
the
it?
odds. I want to see the odds. That's all.
Bro, what is that team? I'm just looking at it. You're playing Buonanotte in the 10.
Buenos Natchez in the 10, man.
Nacho on the left. Bloody Boy George up front.
Wolfie, if I was to swap the competitions and say we're playing in the League Cup right now, that would be the type of team you'd pick.
Yeah. Oh my God, Badia Shields playing. Oh, by the way, keep an eye out for Richard Rios. What a player he is, man. I would love to.
Yeah. He was good in he was good in the summer.
Because I think he definitely made the right decision because Man United will live with him.
Forest were in for him. Wasn't
We really?
He was going to go to.
He was for him, but we were heavily
linked to
scouting
Roma
him.
as well. He was linked to Roma
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
few
yeah.
weeks, and then Benfica swooped in. So
Yeah, very good player. Prediction for Forest against Michelin. Michelin man.
No idea.
What else?
Well, given my vast experience of watching Michelin over the years, I have to say, I think Forest will run out like maybe 2-0, maybe.
Neil with Ange. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. 2-1. 2-1.
2-1.
I don't know. We'll win it 5-1 or we'll lose 2-0. Take your pick. And then and anywhere in between. It's like,
And then you say that it's going to be 4-all.
I'd probably take that, man.
We'd take that. Absolutely. Drain their levels a little bit.
What about your mob against Union St. Gonads or whatever they're called?
St. Gonads, oh my God. I was going to come to that, but I wanted to get Chris's predictions on FC Michelin and Forest. What do you think? And obviously Benfica, Chelsea.
I think Forest win 2-0, and I think I'm going to go with Andrew's initial. I'm going to say 1-1, Benfica, Chelsea.
I've got a feeling Benfica might win tonight.
I would love it if Benfica.
I have 2-1.
Charlie?
The pressure that
Me and you, Charlie, if they lose, Pete.
Yeah, Charlie, not Andrew. Andrew's sound.
We like him.
Charlie, we go for.
Charlie.
I'm boring. I don't make outlandish statements. That's the problem.
You're not the first. You're not the first one on the WhatsApp chat to just come in whenever someone. Honestly,
I had to defend Man U the other day because freaking Charlie's in there. Oh, Dan, hold that and stuff. But you just lost yourself.
No shame.
It's instant. Like as soon as it drops, there's a message from Charlie. Like he is. I don't know how he keeps up with it, but it's instant.
Right, sometimes the goal hasn't gone in on my screen.
Yeah,
hasn't gone in on my screen. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
Okay, Newcastle against USG. Away at USG in Brussels. We won't give our predictions. Me and Chris will will we? Will we?
Will we? Will we?
We might. Well, go on, Andrew. You start first. Go
on. I think you'll win 2-1.
Okay.
These Belgian teams are weird. Very weird, right? Very weird.
They came back. They're the team that came back, didn't they? From 2-0. Was it?
Yeah, they won. Didn't they win like 4-2?
They beat PSV in the last game. I think they were like 2.
They were 2-0 down. They were 2-0 down, weren't they? They played beautifully.
Yeah.
Was it them? Who am I thinking of?
No, you're thinking of Carrier Bag against Benfica. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
They were 2-0
Who am
down
I thinking of?
Benfica.
Who am I thinking of?
Carabag against Benfica.
They came from behind to win
3-2.
Oh, they beat PSV 3-1, didn't they?
But they were 3-0 up.
I did see that game as well. They were very good. I was surprised by them.
They controlled them.
I'd never heard of them. They're very, very good. So yeah, I think you'll draw 1-1. I think that's a good result.
Okay, Chris.
As has happened many a time, I agree with Wolfie. I'm going to say 1-1.
I'm going to go 1-0. I think we will.
What's your next game in the Champions League after USG?
They get easy after that.
PSV?
Is it PSV or is it Benfica?
Oh, hang on. Let me check.
PSV should be a walkover.
PSV is shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they're crap.
It is.
It's not.
Oh no,
PSV.
Benfica at home.
Yeah, I thought it was Benfica, but I think PSV's not far behind that. Yeah. Right, boys. Great chat as always. Brilliant stuff in the chat, in the live chat as well. Thank you to everyone putting their comments in and opinions. Love the conversation as always. He's always in there.
Stalking me, man. My God, Andy, I'm about to go and watch the football. You got any cameras in my living room? Just so like I know how well dressed I have to be, bro. Seriously.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Right, people. We are out of here. We'll be back next week. Fingers crossed, shades and all, with some 3 points in the bag. We'll wait and see. Wolfie says no. We say yes. Let's see who's right. Take care, people. We'll speak to you very, very soon.
All night, get you wide up beside and tell me side to side. You can say, JC, you're too much for me. I am a little bit of loneliness, a little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel, and it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back